Hey, we got one of the most famous unauthorized recordings of all time, with possibly two of the most famous songwriters.
The greatest duo in music history. This is one of the few recordings to have its own Wikipedia page. Of course, we're talking about the legendary 1974 jam session between John Lennon and Paul McCartney, the final time they ever played together, and also the final time they were ever photographed together. It is really, really historic. This is called A Toot and a Snore in '74. This was a jam session that took place in Los Angeles. In March 1974, John Lennon began producing Harry Nilsson's Pussycats album in Los Angeles. Considering the poor drinking habits of both Lennon and Nilsson, Lennon thought it would be a good idea for the musicians to live under one roof to ensure they would get to the studio on time. So May Pang, John's girlfriend at the time during the Lost Weekend, rented a beach house in Santa Monica for her, Lennon, Nilsson, Ringo Starr, and Keith Moon to live in. Mal Evans, the famous roadie for the Beatles from '63 to their breakup in the '70s, was appointed assistant producer. After the first night of recording on March 28th, special guests showed up at the Record Plant Studios, Paul and Linda McCartney and Stevie Wonder. They came in, they did 9 songs. It was a very brief jam in which they were all extremely high on cocaine, which has its name, A Toot and a Snore, which comes from John asking Stevie Wonder,
"You want to snore, Steve? A toot, it's going round."
and you can hear that on this recording very early in there. Paul McCartney is on drums for most of it, and it's exactly what you would expect, really. I mean, it's just fun.
Sometimes the banter in between the songs is more interesting than the music, which is really interesting. Yeah, listening to them converse.
It's rated number 40 on the top 50 most important bootlegs of all time. And it's been reissued recently on a 2 CD set that features not only a little bit longer extended version of the jam from Toot and a Snore, but also features the May 23rd session with Simon and Garfunkel, May 23rd, 1974. And they do more jams, and it's just a party.
I wonder if that was the first Simon and Garfunkel reunion.
Yes, this was the first Simon and Garfunkel reunion. Lennon had invited both Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel over. They jammed for a bit, but it abruptly ended when Paul Simon walked out over conflicts over the musical direction. Although the session was cut short, it led to other more public interactions between the artists, such as their joint appearance at the Grammy Awards in 1975.
They went on to reunite again in the mid-'70s, I think, on Saturday Night Live. And then, of course, that famous show in Central Park in New York.
McCartney does not appear on the May 23rd jam, as the last time he played with Lennon was March 28th, 1974. It's just a lot of great reunions, but it's really quite a shame that all they ended up doing was just some jams on some songs from the early '60s. I wish they could have come together and did something else, but it just didn't happen.
Paul McCartney, this is quoting him, he says, "We were stoned. I don't think there was anyone in the room who wasn't stoned. For some ungodly reason, I decided to get on drums. It was just a party, you know. To use the word disorganized is completely understating it. I might have made a feeble attempt to restore order. Guys, let's think of a song. That would be a good idea, but I can't remember if I did it or not." It's very difficult to remember those days because it was a bit crazy and everyone was getting out of it. But yes, John was doing some recordings in LA and showed up. It was a strange session. The thing I recall, apart from the fact that Stevie Wonder was there, is that someone said, "What song shall we do?" I don't know anything after '63, which I understood because the songs from your formative years are the ones that you tend to use to jam. I ended up on drums for some reason, and no, I don't have a tape of it.
Well, if only McCartney knows that this is out there. It's on YouTube, and if you want to listen to it, either of these, I'm going to leave a link in the description. You can check both of them out. they're just like listening to a period of history. I mean, this is the last time they ever played together, and it's worth listening to if you have not heard it.
You actually have something very impressive here. This is a silver.
This is from '92. This is a real
what good
silver
shape
press.
that's in.
I got this. It somehow made its way from Europe to Japan and then to Korea, where I purchased it from a Korean vendor, and I had it imported to me, and it's just in perfect shape. It's just pristine. I mean, this is to be honest with you, this is what I find to be one of the top 10 bootleg recordings. It doesn't matter that the performance may not be there, just what this represents in terms of its historic content. It should be preserved, and I would love to see this released officially. I doubt it ever will get released officially, as I don't think they're gonna want to put this out. It's just too sloppy. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we're gonna be making more videos about different recordings and rarities like this. So keep on rocking and subscribe, definitely.
Keep on rocking and keep on listening to the music.
All right.
Bye-bye.